I wanted to do a video on future trends or how our society will look like 5 years down the road, or not even five. I would say like three. But there are some underlying trends that are fueled by technology and software that will radically change things. Well, I think a lot of these changes have already happened, and this is not really a prophetic kind of video. It's like you can see it all around, but there is a problem that the people they have a cultural lag time. That means that the technology comes around and rapidly changes industries and institutions, uh, and the people at the top they'll try to adopt or they'll go out of business. But the majority of people they're still in that cultural lag time. They haven't really perceived or integrated that technology into their lives. They're still like 10 years behind or 20 years behind. You can see this cultural lag in some sci-fi movies that for example in the Star Trek, if you look at the sci-fi for them, that for the 1960s and 1980s and 2000, and for a lot of people that were brought out in those ages, that's sci-fi, that's the future. But that's not really the future, because all the devices and things that these actors or characters they use, we already have them, or we even have better than what they have. uh, the only device that we don't have, or we are starting to see the early developments, is the actualizer, or the what they call it, the transporter. Yeah, transporter. We don't have a transporter here yet, but making a transporter is not as a difficult task as you might think. Well, right now they're trying to make a 3D bioprinter, where you take cells from a different part of the body that wasn't damaged, like from the left eye or right eye, and grow them, and then create with the bioprinter left eye, like mine. But the 3D printer that could print in a very high resolution. That means that you could print molecules, atom by atom. What you would need for such a futuristic device is have a scanner that can, for example, let's say a piece of hair, can scan all of these pieces of hair and identify every atom and every bond, and what the bond is, in what kind of quantum state is that atom. Okay, so that would be the first task. The second task is with the printer, such a printer, to have print heads that can position each atom and attach them together. This is kind of hard for us to do, because you need a lot of processing power. The computer that the scanner needs might not be in our possession, but the way the computer industry is growing, that is not going to be very far off. And then the same goes with the 3D printer that can print in such a high resolution. Well, all it is making sure the atoms that we want to combine, they combine correctly, and they have the same atomic quantum states that the original specimen had. Okay, that is not a very tremendous task. That's within the realm of reality. Or we might have some of these technologies in the labs, but the we are the humans are adopting these technologies and integrating into devices. So if our mindset is set back 20 years ago, so it will be slow going. uh, I had a friend, George. We both drive taxi, and he was telling me he worked for DARPA, and he was saying that there are technologies and there are discoveries that they're beyond our age, that the U.S. government has just locked them up, and they don't want it out in the open because some of them are very disruptive technologies, and they gradually seep into the public domain. Um, he was saying that like this is 20, 30 years ago, that they had the invention of fax machines, but it was locked away. It was just the invention, and the government owned the rights to it. So they kept it for a long time. We didn't have fax machines, but then it came out. You don't know what some of these labs they have hiding away. Anyhow, the cultural lag and the lag that's induced by stupid large companies, that they don't want things to change and they want everything to be the same as yesterday, that might not be able to stand, because technology doesn't wait for one company or one government. It's all around, and it will seep in. Or one trend that I foresee in the future is the use of this is not future. This is they're using them now, and this technology is out there, but it will seep into other countries too. Is using lasers as weapons, and the good thing about using a laser as a weapon is that if you have a flying object and you're trying to knock that down, or when you shoot a rocket at it or a projectile, this you need a lot of processing. You have to figure out when the projectile will be close to this object, and constantly monitor and correct for the trajectory. And also when an object or a rocket or anti-aircraft is in the air, you have to account for the motion of the planet Earth and all kinds of gravitational effects. Some places on Earth they have minor gravitational disturbances, because the Earth isn't really circular. It's not really a sphere. It's oblong. There's a lot of little effects, and they make a difference if the projectile is moving. But with the laser, this is not the case, because the laser light it travels in tremendous speed. So once with the telescope or with the CCD you zoom on an object, say for example it's an unfriendly drone, and you want to knock it down, all you have to do is shoot the laser at this location at this point of time, because the light it travels at tremendous speed. It's not like sound or a rocket, and you can basically very cheaply destroy unfriendly space bearing objects. This could be a disruptive technology for many third world countries that are unhappy with the superpowers coming in and destroying their cities or their infrastructure. I would envision a country like Syria putting all these anti-aircraft laser guns all around its borders, and basically knocking anything that they don't like. This is a disruptive technology, and it's out there. It's just gonna take a little time for it to get adopted. And the other technologies that we should be moving towards, or in fact we are, but they're not very much advertised, is the automation of manufacturing automation. And did you know that many automakers right now, they're making more cars in the United States than ever before. If you go into any of these car makers shop, you'll see all these arms, the robot arms, and each robot arm can do hundreds of tasks. And each one of those tasks was a $30 an hour job that the union lost. That the was like one was drilling, one was spot welding, all that stuff. The robots can do that, and basically technology allows a complete elimination of workforce in manufacturing, and this is a real huge bonanza for the United States because they have lost so many of their production capacity to China and other countries. But then if you are smart and you're well organized and have nice capital, and you for once you set up the shop to manufacture anything like a toaster oven or a refrigerator through these automated machinery. Once you do that, once you have the capital, then the all the products that come out, they come out very cheaply. That's why our future is called the zero marginal cost society, which means the marginal cost on products and products is going to sink very low. This is not very good news for the labor, but there is something else that's happening. Is that our age is going to mimic the past, because in the agrarian societies they didn't really have major industries. They had what you would call artisans, like there were the barbers, the butcher, the hairdresser, this and that. It's like like one person, he does many tasks, or she will perform many functions that you would need. For example, I'm able now to hire somebody who paints cars on his own. It's like he's got some tools and paint gun and a little garage. So this trend will grow and become the dominant. You'll see society, each person it just does one function very well, and it's a service. You cannot automate this service. There's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done. Like if you wanna look good, you're gonna go to the hairdresser. She has access to all these products that are now manufactured very cheaply, and all these processes that she can get on the internet or she can procure, that costs her almost nothing. But the service that you want to get the way you want them, that will cost a pretty penny. So that will kind of ameliorate this loss of jobs in the manufacturing, because manufacturing jobs and manufacturing production is like the race to the bottom. The cheaper you produce something, hey, technology will allow somebody else to produce that same thing just a penny or two cheaper, and we go on and on and on and on. That's why it's called the race to the bottom, or the zero cost marginal society, because every product or everything that you consume, be it fuel or food or nice camera or a car, is produced extremely cheaply. The companies that make money are companies that tailor these products to you as a service and give you really good service the way you like it for a fee. You will have your own car rental agent, your own artisan that comes and helps you with the car when it breaks down, or your own physician. Well, this is not futuristic. This is today. But I am doing this video. A lot of people are gonna watch it, but their mind is still in the past. That's why they think this is the future. And what else is going to happen is because every individual is becomes more and more empowered, uh, because the products are cheaper, the apps are simpler and free, and the technology is just makes everything available to you. This will also increase forms of crime. That means because each individual has become so empowered, so like you see in the United States, there is mass shootings, but the point with being empowered is as you become more empowered, you have to grow spiritually too, not to abuse these technologies. The other things that will go on and become very magnified is the ruin of many big financial corporations and centralized organizations, because the technology of blockchain and decentralization technologies will just spread throughout society. And if you don't need many of these institutions, they'll have harder time to make money and to stay in business. And well, there will be a period of real struggle, and but afterwards the decentralization is going to win, and you basically know how to provide for yourself in many ways. You really don't need many of these institutions, and it will become more of a democratic society in all areas, not just in government. It will be democratic in wages, in having access to publicize yourself, having access to education. It just the whole range of things are going to fall apart, and a whole new wealth is going to emerge. Basically, what I think is these new technologies make a lot of wealth available to many people. After this cultural lag is over, a lot of people are gradually going to walk into these technologies. Like a lot of people have walked into Facebook, have walked into Google, and taking use of these technologies because they are free or very cheap, and it gives you access to tremendous markets and number of people. And there is a pyramid that's called Maslow's pyramid. I know a lot of people are familiar with this. Is that as your needs for food and safety and all these technological gadgets and all these, as they are saturated, okay, more people are going to migrate towards more spiritual pursuits, more artistic. Well, it will start as artistic and gradually grow into more spiritual, and it just is you will start using different parts of your brain, different faculties. In the old English languages, they use the word mental faculties, like as if in plural. It wasn't simply referred to a head that can calculate 2 plus 2, or one that could do strategic planning, or one that could play the piano. It's a whole range of faculties, like psychic aspects of yourself. We in our society, our culture, it suppresses these because our society is based on reductionist or materialistic dialectic. But when a lot of people become enriched or empowered, they'll gravitate towards these higher selves, and I see signs of this everywhere. Then the other prediction is that the democratic forms of government is going to take very strong hold on many places, even places that you never imagined this place will become a democratic state. And the desire to participate is so strong in human being, even if there is bloody conflicts in the beginning, but as time goes on, it will gravitate towards these forms of government. I'm sure I didn't say a lot of stuff that I see, and I kind of take a mental note and try to go through them in other videos. Definitely the age of empires is over, and many of these bulky institutions and governments are going to downsize and get out of the way of humanity. Thank you very much for looking at my YouTube video. In the other videos, I'll go over some of the other technologies and other phenomena that you very rarely hear about them. You sometimes read in spiritual books or spiritism about them, but I have been encountering them, and I will go over a lot of them. And once you hear them, you will know that this is something that happens, because most people, they have experienced these states, but they suppress it, or they just let it go. Have a nice one.